Today's the day we start the Cabot Trail. Last night we boondocked at this location called Point Oconee Lighthouse. Okay, and it's beautiful. It's known for having seals here, which we definitely did see right outside our windows. What's funny though is they just like stick their little heads up and look around and then just go back under, and that's really it. And then sometimes you'll see like 5 or 6 at a time, and sometimes you'll just see one. We didn't see any like swimming up to the beachy area and relaxing. Last night's sunset was so beautiful. This was just a really great location. However, if you're gonna add this to your list, I do have to give you a little word of warning. It stinks so bad. And it's just the seaweed, I think, that's like gets up on the beach here and rots. It just is like the most salty, rotting smell ever. So maybe it'll be different if you come up here, but that is just your warning. Otherwise, this place is beautiful. We had a motorcycle camper at the top of the hill, and we actually had 4 other RVs that looked like they were caravanning just right up the road here. You can't see the roads because of all the bushes, but there are a ton of little roads that go through this area. But now we're loading up and going to officially start the Cabot Trail. And the first tip we learned is to actually take it counterclockwise. That way you're facing the ocean the whole way and you get the better views. So yesterday we didn't make it very far on the Cabot Trail before we realized that we needed to kind of stop and regroup. If you didn't know, a large portion of the Cabot Trail includes Cape Breton Highlands National Park, and one of the most popular things to do here is the Skyline Trail. So that's like all we really had on the itinerary. But when we drove into the visitor center yesterday, we stopped to just talk to a ranger, get some recommendations of other hikes and things to do. And that's where we saw that Skyline Trail was actually closed for the day because it had too many visitors and the parking lot was full, so they just close it. And that was early in the afternoon. That was at 2, and the recommendations we were told was to actually go on that trail at sunset. So we were like, okay, we got to scratch this and regroup. So after talking to the ranger, we decided to stop at the campground that's like right at the entrance to the park called Ingonish Beach Campground. And thankfully they had a few first come first serve sites, and they let us have one, even though this is, as you can tell from the background, mostly a tenting campsite. There were like 3 or 4 other RVs here, but it was perfect for what we needed because we were able to take a look at the map, Google some things, and come up with an actual like strategy for today so we can maximize our time in Cape Breton.
After regrouping, we have a couple of hikes planned for today. Some just quick, simple, like 1 to 2 milers, couple of just pull off stops. I did actually find a audio tour. It's not as great as our favorite, but it kind of scratches the itch of what is that going on. We were able to luckily get a full hookup campsite in Chedabucto Camp, which is the other end of the Cabot Trail, kind of like right as you're leaving the national park. And so we're really lucky with that because we've been checking and there's been no availability at any of these campsites, and we happened to get this one here and the one tonight, and it's a full hookup, so that's a score.
Yeah, we actually think what must have happened was as we were on the website looking and planning yesterday, we looked at that campground multiple times and it was completely full, and then randomly one green site just popped up. So we think we just got someone's last minute reservation, and it was perfect. So now we feel like we're ready to take on the rest of this trail with a plan, so let's get going. Our first stop today is Green Cove, which is only about 10 or 15 minutes up the road from the Ingonish Beach campground we were at. And even though this is marked on the map as a trail, it really is only about 200 yards of a boardwalk that leads you up to Pink Rocks. And even though we're only 10 or 15 minutes up the road from the campground, the landscape's really starting to change from yesterday. So we're really getting into it, I feel like. Oh, one more thing I wanted to add, just in case you have a dog like us, is that all of the trails in Cape Breton Highlands National Park are dog friendly except the Skyline Trail and Ingonish Beach, but only on the beach where there's a lifeguard and they have it marked off. So there is a portion of that beach that is dog friendly too. All right, let's go see these pink rocks. Okay, we've made it to our next stop on the Cabot Trail, but before we tell you where we are, we have got to give you an update on the road. It only took us about 45 minutes to get from our last stop to where we are currently. The landscape has changed significantly, obviously, because we're not on the coast anymore. We're now in with the trees. However, I think what was most surprising to us is the fact that when we were doing research on the Cabot Trail and when you look up pictures and things to do, they do talk about all the hiking, but when they show the road, they always show these beautiful ocean views, and they never show what we just drove, which was like pretty intense. Our transmission started to get a little hot, our brakes started stinking a little bit. This is definitely like a mountain road, so if you're going to take it, we want you to be prepared for that.
Yeah, I think the main thing isn't just like the steepness, which is, it's like a 8%, 9% grade, pretty decent, but I think it's the way that the road is, where it like curves in and out in these short little curves, so there's no like gaining. You're just going slow, and that's when things get hot, so it's like slow and steep. But overall, not bad, just really not what we were expecting.
Yeah, so just be prepared for that. This is, I feel like, the side of Cabot Trail that nobody tells you about. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, our next stop is called Lone Shieling, and this is a, did they say 400-year-old growth forest?
Yeah, so after we walk through the old growth forest, there's supposed to be a old Shieling hut, which is like a temporary hut that they used during, I'm assuming, the summers here. So let's go check it out. All right, so these were summer huts, and they were built for the tenant Scottish farmers who were mostly raising sheep, you know, using the pastures around here, and they would use these in the summer where them and some of their flock would be able to go into it because it has one open end. And then if there was a thunderstorm or something, they would cover the front with peat moss, and then that way it would keep the rain out, and they could start a fire inside and have warmth and light and all of that.
I don't know if this is actually supposed to make us feel better or not, but the road's right here, and as we've been looking at this hut, a couple cars have driven by because this is right at the end of the mountain decline, and we're smelling brakes from a lot of cars. So at least it's not just us, right? About 2 minutes up the road, and we've already found ourselves at our next stop, which is Macintosh Brook. This is a 1.1 mile hike out and back, and all the description on the pamphlet said was waterfalls and old growth forest. So we were sold. Waterfalls is a stretch for this hike now that we made it to the end, because there's just one waterfall, but it's still beautiful. Hey, did you know we made a tank treatment? It's called Tank Tune-Up, and it's a no-filler powder that breaks down waste, kills odors, and even cleans your tank sensors. Click the link in our description or find it on Amazon to get yours. And just like that, we're out of the valley and on top of another mountain. This is Mackenzie Mountain, and it's 1,200 feet. And the map said it was a 12% grade to get up here. And it looks like it's gonna be about 11% grade to get down. We're on our last stop of the day before we check out Skyline Trail to see if it's open or not. And this stop is called The Bog. And the description for this one on the map is just orchids, moose, and insect-eating plants. So let's see what we can see.
No orchids, no moose, but we did see the bug-eating plants. We saw a bunch of pitcher plants, and not gonna lie, that's really cool. I don't think I've ever seen those types of plants in the wild, and it's really cool to see them. They're like everywhere.
I think we need to buy lotto tickets with how much we're lucking out in this national park. So for some reason, Skyline Drive is open today, and it actually doesn't look crowded at all. So I have no idea why yesterday it was so full by 2 p.m. they had to shut it down, and today it's totally fine. So we're gonna go see what this hike is all about. Made it to the top, and it's beautiful up here. However, I'm not so sure that we think the juice is worth the squeeze.
I guess to this section it is. I don't know. We also aren't doing the full 5-mile loop, but the more I sat there, I felt like it was a little bit more worth the squeeze. When we first got here, I was like, oh wow, like a mountain view onto the ocean. Like there's lots of those, but it's a nice, calm, cool day. They have a ton of benches, and just sitting there, I don't know, it felt kind of peaceful, honestly. It's like the end of the world, like just off to the ocean and then just ocean forever.
I know, it was actually really hard. I hope the camera picked it up well enough, but it was hard to tell the difference between like where the sky ends and the ocean starts. And we did get really lucky with weather today.
Yeah.
But I do have to admit, I thought the whole trail was gonna be beautiful and it kind of followed the ocean. But once again, that's just fake expectations. I don't know. It's just every picture you see is only out here. So you're not seeing the 4 miles of literally just a gravel trail with trees on both sides. But I do understand why it's worth the hype, and I'm so glad it wasn't windy today, because honestly, wind is my least favorite element.
All right, so even though it is a relatively tree covered walk and kind of boring, you do get to walk through this moose exclosure. Exclosure because it's trying to keep the moose out of this area. So the reason there is a moose exclosure is because they are reforesting this part of, it's called a boreal forest. And every 35 years there is a bug that decimates the trees here, and they usually grow back rather quickly if there aren't a bunch of moose snacking on them, and they love lower level, I guess. Baby trees, yeah. And so they put this big fence around this recently decimated section, and so it's actually, you can see a lot more through here, and they're trying to regrow it, give it time to recover before they let the moose wander through again.
And something we learned from our audio tour about the moose here was that they were actually hunted to extinction. So Canada took 18 moose from West Canada, brought them over here. So every moose you see in the park today is actually a descendant from those original 18. All right, we made it to our campground, Chedabucto Camp, and it is really beautiful. That drive from Skyline Drive to here is stunning. So we definitely found the spots that they make all their promo videos, and everything that we saw, we just saw it last. We're pretty much almost done with Cabot Trail, or at least the Cape Breton Highlands National Park portion, because once you leave this campground, you pretty much leave the national park. But there is a little bit more of the trail left, but we're gonna hit that up tomorrow.
If you do make it up here and you either can't make the 4-mile hike to get out to the viewpoint, or it's closed, I would say don't fret, because all along the highway there is a ton of pull-offs and you get the amazing view that you get from Skyline, so you don't have to miss it. And yeah, it was definitely what I was picturing in my head right here at the end. So absolutely stunning, absolutely gorgeous.
I hope this video gave you more of an overview of Cape Breton, and that there's so much more to this national park than just this portion that is stunning and definitely deserves all of the beautiful footage it gets. But there is so much more to this national park, and even as far as hiking goes, there's so much more than just Skyline Trail. So make sure to do a little bit of research. We didn't have to do much, and we still had an amazing time. But if you do want to camp here, I wouldn't risk it like us, and I would definitely make reservations in advance. We're famished after all of our adventuring today, so it is time for us to have dinner, but we will see you tomorrow.